What if the greatest power you have in a relationship is not found in what you do, but in who you are? We spend our lives learning how to act, what to say, how to achieve. But we are rarely taught how to simply be. We believe we must manage, fix, and control the world around us, especially the emotional world of those we love. But what if that very effort is the source of all our struggles? What if the key to a woman's heart, to her deepest trust and openness, has nothing to do with being a perfect container for her emotions, but everything to do with becoming the very climate in which her soul can flourish? This is not a lesson in technique. It is an invitation to a profound shift in your very being, an invitation to stop being the frantic problem solver and to become the calm, steady mountain that allows the weather to simply be. Part 1. The Law of Emotional Resonance. There is a fundamental law of energy that governs our connections. A principle I call the law of emotional resonance. It states that the emotional climate you cultivate within yourself is inevitably the climate you create around you. The world, and especially the woman in your life, does not respond to what you say you are. She responds to the silent frequency you are broadcasting from the core of your being. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. If you are vibrating with anxiety, insecurity, or a desperate need for control, you will activate those same discordant frequencies in her. You might say all the right words, perform all the right actions, but she will feel the unsettling vibration beneath the surface. Her defensiveness, her distance, her emotional storms are often not a reaction to your actions, but a resonance with your inner state. You are getting an echo of your own soul. I remember a time in a past relationship where everything felt like a battle. I was constantly trying to prove my worth, to manage her moods, to fix every problem. I thought I was being a good partner, but in reality, my inner world was a chaotic mess of fear and inadequacy. And so, the relationship became a mirror of that chaos. I was broadcasting fear and I received back distrust. I was broadcasting a need for control, and I received back rebellion. The shift happened not when I learned a new communication trick, but when I began the difficult work of calming my own inner storm. Through meditation, through self-reflection, through facing my own demons, my inner frequency began to change. I started broadcasting a quiet confidence, a sense of inner peace. And like magic, the world around me began to resonate with that new frequency. The arguments lessened. The trust grew. I hadn't changed her. I had changed the climate. She wasn't a problem to be solved. She was a flower responding to a change in the weather. This is the first and most crucial step. Before you try to understand her, you must first understand the weather system inside of you. So I ask you this: if your inner state were the weather, what would it be like today? Is it a raging hurricane? A cold, desolate winter? Or is it a calm, sunlit morning? Because whatever it is, that is the world you are inviting her to live in. Part 2. The Gardener and the Rose. Men are taught to be engineers. We see a problem. We design a solution. We implement it. When a woman expresses a difficult emotion, sadness, anger, fear, the engineer in us immediately activates. We rush in with blueprints and toolkits, offering solutions, giving advice, telling her why she shouldn't feel that way. We try to engineer her feelings into a more logical, manageable state. And in doing so, we crush the very life we seek to nurture. You must abandon the mindset of an engineer and adopt the wisdom of a gardener. A master gardener does not yell at a rose, telling it to bloom faster. He does not try to pry its petals open. He understands that the bloom is a natural consequence of the right conditions. So he does not focus on the rose itself. He focuses on the soil, the water, the sunlight. He cultivates the environment, and then he trusts the process. Her emotions are the rose. Your presence, your listening, your non-judgmental acceptance, that is the soil, the water, and the sunlight. When she comes to you in a storm of emotion, she is not asking you to stop the rain. She is asking you to be the rich, steady earth that can receive it, knowing that the rain will pass and that it ultimately brings life. I once knew an old man who had the most magnificent garden. I asked him for his secret. He smiled and said, "The secret is that there is no secret. I just show up every day. I listen to the plants. I give them what they need, not what I think they need. And then, I get out of the way. This is the art of holding space. It is the most masculine form of strength. It is the quiet confidence that says, your feelings are not a threat to me. Your darkness does not diminish my light. Bring your storm. I will be your earth. When you offer this kind of presence, she will feel an unprecedented level of safety. And in that safety, her petals will begin to unfold naturally, not because you forced them, but because she finally has the space to bloom. So, reflect on this. In your relationships, are you acting as an engineer, trying to fix and control? Or are you being the gardener, patiently cultivating the conditions for growth and trusting the process of life? Part 3. The silence that speaks volumes. Our world is addicted to noise. We believe that connection is built through words, that understanding comes from explanation. But the deepest connections, the most profound moments of intimacy, are often born in silence. Not an empty, awkward silence, but a rich, present, and active silence. When a woman is sharing her soul with you, your greatest gift is not your advice, but your attention. It is a level of listening that goes beyond the ears. It is listening with your entire being. In Zen, this is called deep listening. It's the practice of setting aside your own thoughts, your own agenda, your own need to reply, and simply becoming a space for her words to land. Most of the time when we think we are listening, we are actually preparing our rebuttal. We are analyzing her words, judging them, formulating our response. She feels this. She feels that you are not truly with her, that you are in your head. And so she closes down. The silence that speaks volumes is a silence filled with empathy. It's the look in your eyes that says, I am here with you. It's the stillness of your body that says, nothing you can say will make me leave. It's a silence that is more comforting than any well-intentioned platitude. There is an old story of a disciple who asked his master, how can I help a world full of suffering? The master sat in silence for a long time, simply looking at the disciple with deep compassion. Finally, he said, you cannot stop the river from flowing, but you can sit by its banks and bear witness to its journey. When she is in her river of emotion, you don't need to build a dam. You don't need to divert its course. Your job is to simply sit on the bank, to bear witness, to let her know that she is not alone in her journey. This silent, unwavering presence is a powerful declaration of love. It tells her subconscious, you are safe. All of you is welcome here. And in that welcome, she will find her own way back to peace. The challenging question for you is this. When she speaks, are you truly listening to her words, or are you listening for your turn to speak? Can you offer the gift of a silence so profound that it makes her feel more heard than words ever could? Part 4. Navigating the storm, the anchor and the sea. Many men fear the intensity of feminine emotion. It feels chaotic, unpredictable, like a storm that threatens to capsize their ship of logic and reason. In response, we either try to control the storm by dismissing her feelings, or we abandon ship by withdrawing emotionally. Both responses deepen her feeling of being unsafe. The path of the conscious man is not to control the sea, but to become the anchor. The sea will always have its storms. The waves of emotion will rise and fall. That is its nature. The anchor does not stop the storm. The anchor holds the ship steady in the storm. Its power lies in its weight, its stability, its unwavering connection to the deep, silent ground beneath the turbulent surface. Your anchor is your own center. It is your connection to your breath, your body, your sense of self that is independent of her emotional state. When she is the storm, you must drop your anchor. This means taking a deep breath instead of reacting. It means feeling your feet on the ground instead of getting lost in the drama of her words. It means remembering who you are, a man of calm and presence, even when she has forgotten. This is not about being cold or detached. It is the opposite. It is about being so deeply present and grounded in your own being that you can meet her chaos with a profound sense of peace. Your calm becomes a lighthouse in her storm. It doesn't make the waves disappear, but it gives her a point of reference, a light to navigate by. She subconsciously feels your stability and begins to believe that maybe this storm isn't going to destroy everything. Your steadiness gives her permission to feel her feelings fully, knowing that she won't be abandoned. This is the epitome of masculine strength. It is not the strength that dominates, but the strength that stabilizes. It is the quiet power that says, I am not afraid of your depths. I will stay here until the waters are calm again. So ask yourself honestly, when the storms of emotion arrive in your relationship, do you become another frantic wave, adding to the chaos? Or do you have the courage and the practice to become the anchor? Part 5. The Scars We Don't See, Acknowledging Her Inner History. One of the most profound shifts in understanding a woman occurs when you realize her reactions are rarely just about you. We all carry a history within us, an invisible backpack filled with past hurts, childhood wounds, and the echoes of every time we felt unsafe or unseen. When she has an emotional reaction that seems disproportionate to the current situation, she is often not reacting to you in the present moment. She is reacting to a ghost from her past. The common male response is to get defensive. That's not fair. I didn't do anything to deserve that. We make it about us. We try to defend our logic, our intentions. But in that moment, she doesn't need your logic. She needs your compassion. She needs you to see beyond the present-day trigger to the historical wound it just touched. Creating true emotional safety means creating a space that is safe not just for her, but for her scars as well. It's the ability to say without words, I see that you are hurting. I may not understand the entire history of that pain, but I am not going to punish you for it. I am here with you now. This requires immense maturity. It requires you to set your ego aside. It requires you to stop taking everything personally. When you can look at her in the midst of her pain and see the little girl inside who was once hurt, your entire perspective shifts. You move from frustration to empathy. You move from judgment to a desire to protect. This doesn't mean you tolerate abuse or accept blame for things you didn't do. It means you have the wisdom to differentiate between the present moment and the past that is intruding upon it. You can hold a boundary firmly but gently, saying something like, I understand you're feeling immense anger right now, and I want to hear about it. But I will not be spoken to in that way. Let's take a breath, and when you're ready, I am here to listen to the pain behind the anger. This approach is transformative. It tells her that you are strong enough to handle not just her, but her history too. This is the deepest form of safety. It's the moment she realizes she doesn't have to hide her broken parts from you. And when a woman can show you her scars without fear of you running away, you have earned a level of trust that few men will ever know. The introspective question is this: can you love her enough to see the history that shaped her, and not just the emotion she is showing you now? Can you be a safe harbor not just for her, but for all the younger versions of herself that she carries inside? Part 6. The Alchemical Union, Beyond Safety to Transformation. For too long, the conversation has been one-sided. What a man must do to make a woman feel safe. But this is not the ultimate goal. A relationship where one person is the constant provider and the other is the constant receiver is imbalanced. The true purpose of a sacred union is not just safety, but mutual transformation. It is an alchemical process where two whole, sovereign beings come together to create something far greater than themselves. Once you have mastered the art of creating a climate of safety, the dynamic begins to shift. It is no longer just about you holding space for her. Your consistent, grounded presence creates an environment where she can fully embody her powerful feminine energy, her intuition, her creativity, her nurturing spirit. And this energy, when unleashed, flows back to you, healing and inspiring you in ways you cannot imagine. This is the true meaning of partnership. It is not a transaction. It is a dance. Your masculine presence creates the dance floor, and her feminine energy is the beautiful dance that unfolds upon it. Each needs the other. Your stillness allows for her flow. Her flow nourishes your strength. This is the alchemical union. The relationship itself becomes a crucible, a sacred container. Within it, your old wounds are brought to the surface to be healed. Your limiting beliefs are challenged. Your capacity for love, compassion, and presence is expanded beyond all measure. You are not just making her feel good, you are both catalysts for each other's evolution. This is the final stage of conscious relationship. You move beyond the roles of fixer and feeler. You become two suns in a binary system, each with your own powerful gravity, orbiting a shared center, and creating more light together than you ever could alone. You realize that the greatest gift you can give her is not your protection, but your own wholeness. The most profound way to love her is to commit relentlessly to your own inner work. As you become a more conscious, grounded, and whole man, you give her the ultimate permission to do the same. This is a love that does not seek to complete, but to amplify. Part 7. The Practice and Final Call. All of this knowledge is useless if it is not embodied. True change comes not from understanding, but from practice. So I offer you a simple yet profound exercise I call the practice of sovereign stillness. Find 5 minutes each day. Sit in a quiet place. Close your eyes. Simply bring your attention to your breath, flowing in and out. As you sit, thoughts, feelings, and sensations will arise. Your task is not to fight them, or even to analyze them. Your task is to simply notice them as if they were clouds passing in the vast sky of your awareness. When a feeling of anxiety comes, just say to yourself, anxiety is here. When a thought of judgment arises, notice it. Judgment. Do not attach. Do not resist. Simply witness. This practice over time will build your capacity to be the anchor. You will learn to differentiate between yourself, the calm, witnessing sky, and the passing weather of your emotions. This is the foundation of all the work we have discussed today. This is how you build your inner anchor. The journey we have explored is not just about improving your relationship with a woman. It is about transforming your relationship with life itself. It is about moving from a state of reaction to a state of conscious creation. It is about becoming the architect of your inner world, knowing that your outer world will inevitably follow. This is not an easy path, but it is the path of a life lived with depth, meaning, and true power. It is the path of the conscious man. If this message resonates with you, if you feel the call to continue this journey of transformation, then I invite you to join our community. Subscribe, and let's walk this path together. Not just to become better men for the women in our lives, but to become the men the world so desperately needs. Become the anchor. Become the gardener. Become the calm in the storm. It all starts within.